Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop us a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 65 of Imperium and we have 7 new Space Marines to get on with. So, as part of this 7 we have 4 new Eliminators to go with the 3 that we had a couple of weeks ago. We have another Suppressor, another Flying Boy, to go with the 1 that we had a couple of weeks ago. And we have another Eliminator, another Sniper for our Space Marine army. And not only that, we also have our Space Marine Lieutenant in PHOBOS armour as well. So, really good stuff. A pretty decent sized sprue of minis, so plenty to keep us going as well. So plenty of little parts on there, some really good bits as well. So I'm genuinely kind of looking forward to getting going with them and yeah, painting them up. However, it does take me a while to get around to painting them, so yeah, don't expect to see results this side of Christmas the way it's going. But anyway, happy days. Really cool stuff. Into the issue though we go. So we are of course greeted by our lieutenant in PHOBOS armour. So these are of course Vanguard battlefield commanders. They are clad in PHOBOS armour. This Primaris lieutenant fights amidst the Ultramarines Vanguard, leading lightning strikes upon the Necron foe. They of course have a unique war gear as well, so they do of course have that Mark 10 PHOBOS pattern armour as well, which is of course based on the armour worn by intercessors. PHOBOS armour pattern is lighter and quieter, perfect for stealthy operations behind enemy lines, just like a few of the other characters that we've had already, including a librarian and stuff like that. They have grav chutes on their backpacks as well. These are anti-gravitic devices that allow them to leap from drop ships and descend into the midst of battle, allowing the lieutenant to be deployed very swiftly to key areas on the battlefield. They also carry a master-crafted Oculus bolt carbine as well. So the Lieutenant's bolt carbine is fitted with an Oculus scope array. This device enhances the Lieutenant's already formidable aim to new levels. And they carry not one, but 2 knives. They carry a paired set of combat knives, fearsome weapons, perfect for eliminating enemies swiftly and quietly as well. So I'm guessing with these, they could be thrown in certain circumstances, or just used to sneak up on people and, you know, gut them, or something like that. But anyway, happy days. And then, of course, obviously you can give them their battle record, as per usual, so you can name your lieutenant, you can give them their titles, heroic origins, you can name their leadership style, you can even give them their bolt carbine, and name the knives as well. So, really good stuff there as well. So, a little bit of extra flavour to your games and to your characters, and could be worth having a go at as well, so why not have a bit of fun with it. Then we move on, we find out new information about one of the other heroes from within the 41st millennium, Logan Grimnar, the Great Wolf. More than 6 centuries have passed since Logan Grimnar took command of the Space Wolves. Though age has gnarled his flesh and greyed his beard, he remains an aggressive and powerful warrior whose victories over the Imperium's many foes have earned him the respect and adoration of his allies. So, as you can imagine, with a name like Logan Grimnar, he's a pretty tough bugger. So, clad in hulking Terminator plate armour, Logan Grimnar cuts an imposing figure. He has proven his right to lead through skill, arms and leadership in battle, and he began his life as an ocean-faring sea warrior of the Iron Blood tribe. His bravery, martial prowess and fortitude saw him elevated to the Sky Warriors, as natives of Fenris refer to the Space Wolves, and since then he has become their commander and led them on many battles, carrying forth his axe Morkai, which began its life as a demonic weapon forged by Khorne himself. It once belonged to a Chaos champion who was defeated by Logan Grimnar. The Great Wolf had the axe reforged in the image of Morkai, the guardian wolf at the gates of death as well. So, you know, there's a bit of information for you that you may not know about. He's a very nice weapon. And then we find out more information about one of the other Space Wolves, good old heroes as well, Ragnar Blackmane, the Black Wolf. Ragnar Blackmane is a furious hurricane of ceaselessly violent energy who leads his great company, the Blackmanes, on endless campaigns. His howls are a challenge to any who dare face him, and his roaring chainsword as well. So another one of the unique heroes from the Space Wolves, which are probably one of the coolest Space Marine chapters as well. They are really, really unique and a bit different, and yeah, definitely worth having a look into. If you've not painted Space Marines or you're just getting into Warhammer, Space Wolves, really, really cool. Not gonna lie, I really like them. They look fantastic. They look pretty damn good, and yeah, definitely one of the top tier chapters in my opinion anyway. Space Marine vehicles we can move on to next. So of course we will get a vehicle or two. We've already had the Outriders already, so we will get a couple of other bits and pieces at other points. So every Space Marine chapter possesses an armory filled with lethal vehicles, from armoured transports and battle tanks to monstrous walkers piloted by the withered remains of fallen heroes. Some have served their chapter for thousands of years. So with the vast array of armours and armoury that the Adeptus Astartes contain, they have some very unique ones. So moving on to the other page, we get some information about two of them. So here is the Redemptor Dreadnought. Introduced to the Space Marines arsenal during the Indomitus Crusade, Redemptor Dreadnoughts are amongst the largest of their kind ever fielded by the Adeptus Astartes. They are armed to the teeth with heavy weapons, including armour-melting macroplasma incinerators, to infantry-slaying heavy onslaught Gatling cannons, and crushing Redemptor fists. The sheer destructive might of a Redemptor Dreadnought is known to burn out the life essence of a pilot far more swiftly than any other forms of Dreadnought, requiring both interred pilot and sarcophagus to be regularly replaced. And then there is the Invicta Tactical Warsuit as well, so which resembles the Redemptor Dreadnought but is not a Dreadnought. So this is an actual warsuit piloted by a living, breathing Primaris Space Marine. It is designed to be a bit more lightweight, a little bit kind of quieter, and be able to use in a bit more kind of stealthy kind of operations as well, if need be. So another one that's really, really cool, and I must admit I do like the Dreadnoughts. They do look pretty damn good, and definitely worth picking up if you like your Space Marines anyway. Then we move on, we've got the building guide. Very, very simple to follow. There are quite a few pieces to this, so do be careful. But otherwise, have a bit of fun with it. It's a pretty good little kit to build, so it will keep you going for a while. 7 minis by the end of it, including 1 flying boy. I've still not had flying stems, so I'm quite in a lucky position where I have flying stems from other minis knocking around. I've got a weird feeling, and it has been commented on the previous video about these, that the flying stems are not in any of the issues. So who knows what's going on there? But if you do need flying stems, you can order them online. You can get them pretty cheap off eBay, so do not worry. But otherwise, you may have some from the Adeptus Sororitas still knocking around, maybe. If you have, then definitely worth having a use. I think I've got 1 from there and a couple from another set knocking around, I think. But yeah, they might be worth having a blast with. Then you got a how to paint guide. Very, very simple. Now, this paint guide is showing you the basics as per usual. So it is going to go through all your bits and pieces to kind of get you going to a decent standard as well. However, this does not show you how to paint up darker flesh. It only shows you how to paint up pale flesh. Now, there are very many guides online and on YouTube to find out information on how to paint dark flesh. So if you want a bit of variation in the flesh tones of your Space Marines, by all means, Google away. Google is your best friend for this. I definitely recommend it, because this will only teach you how to paint pale flesh, nothing else. So it's definitely worth having a nosy through to kind of get them darker tones, because having that variation just looks far better, in my opinion. It gives you a varied army instead of just, the generic, boring, white guys that are knocking around. Anyway, carrying on. Loads of little details on these minis, so definitely worth having a check through, getting them painted up. Obviously, one of your characters does carry a Helix Adept satchel as well, which is supposed to be painted white, so do not miss that out. Very, very easy to do. Pretty good stuff. It teaches you about thinning it very, very down into its own individual wash with Calgar Blue. It's worth doing. In all honesty, it does look a lot better if you do that. Or if you have contrast paint, Apothecary White does the same. A very, very similar trick. You just have to go back over it with a bit more Corax White. But otherwise, very, very good stuff. By the end of it, you'll be left with something like that. They will look pretty damn good and definitely worthy of going on your tabletop. Then we move on. Obviously, we have a data sheet for our Lieutenant. You are going to need this for your battle, so do not lose it. Very, very good stuff though. Obviously, it teaches you how to use tactical precision, obviously provided by that lovely, lovely weapon that he carries. So definitely have a nosy at that. And then we have our battle for the week. So this is a veteran mission. This is breaking the seals and obviously using 50 power this time round. So a bigger army as well on one battle mat, on two battle mats, sorry. From issues 4 and 18. Placing them both together, deploying on each side. You'll have your center of your battlefield and 2 objectives as well in there. So have a bit of fun with it. Really, really good stuff though. But 50 power is quite a decent amount to get going with. And then before we go on to next week, we have a pull-out section. So this is the war for Ramassus, one of the other war zones, and one of the most kind of unique ones as well. So really, really good one. So definitely worth having a read through because this is very, very Necron heavy as well. So obviously a lot of Necrons involved in this, including the Destroyer Elite and Overlords and much, much more. And of course on your Ultramarine side, Scions of Guilliman, Robert Guilliman, his additional firepower including the good old turret and the ATV as well. So really, really good stuff. So yeah, and we do get these in future issues, including Robert Guilliman as well. And on the side of the Necrons, we do also get a heavy Destroyer Elite. And we do get one of these as well, so really, really good stuff for command barges as well. So pretty cool pieces to look forward to. And then next week, though, issue 66 is the last part of our Vanguard Space Marine. So they're the same sprue as we got 2 weeks ago. So we have an Eliminator, a Suppressor, and 3 Infiltrators. Then issue 67 is a little bit dull. We have White Scar and Tesseract Glow. Tesseract Glow, very, very handy for painting your Necrons, in all honesty. If you're going for that paint scheme that they're going with in the issues, you should be left with a load of white patches on your Necrons. Tesseract Glow will clear that up, so do not worry about it. So really, really good stuff. And a pretty good technical paint as well. Very different. But other than that, thank you very, very much for watching. I'm going to get going, and I will see you sometime soon. Bye-bye now.